So today, guys, going through kind of a bag dump and also everything that I take during elk season. We leave here for Land of the Free in just a couple weeks, short weeks, crazy. I'm just going through, checking my gear, but I'm gonna take you through how I pack my pack, what I carry on, like a 4-day backpacking trip, kind of walk you through a couple of the shelters I've used in the past, some pros, cons. Like I said, hopefully I can share you some of the mistakes and some of the things that I've carried in the past that I no longer carry, or some of the things that you don't want to forget out of your pack. So here we go. All right, here we go. So today I kind of want to run through you, starting with the pack, kind of basically load this thing as I'm going to go for a 4-day trip, 3 nights, 4 days, kind of what we've found during elk season. We usually don't go in for more than that. By then we're either going to move spots or hopefully packing some meat. So it's pretty basic. Here, this is a Born and Raised Edition XO 4800. And how I've got it set up right now, empty. And I'm gonna kind of go through and put my camp, kind of how I load my pack. Just what I always have in my pack, pretty easy right here. Spare thing of chapstick, that's a must. The other one that's kind of one of those pro tips, got some baby rash ointment. And this thing is a game saver in the sense that you get a little chafy, throw it on at night and you're good to go in the morning. Of course, tags, license, anything like that. And in here in this double zip pouch, I've got some spare double A's, and this is where I'll put my spare headlamp, backup headlamp. Definitely I carry 2 headlamps. Left one in the tent before we got up in the morning, needed it that night, didn't have it. Not a great thing to go experience. And then right here, I've got my fire starter and lighter, just as a utilitarian. And then I'll put in this zip pouch all my backup diaphragm calls. So I usually, we get a lot of questions asked, how many calls should I have? I carry, well, right here, there's 5 spares. And then I'll have a call pouch loaded up with the rest of them for season. And I'll usually go through 2 or 3 a season, blowing a lot of bugles. But for our game, if we're out of calls and don't have those or have backups, we're out of elk hunting. So, and then the other side of it here, I'm gonna throw in, this is a Benchmade, this is their saddle mount and skinner. And this is once we kill an elk, this knife comes out. Boom, put that in here. And then I'll also put my sharpener. So just a pocket knife sharpener from Work Sharp, weighs minimal, a couple ounces, and it's easy to find, they're ready to go. So those are those 2 contents of those pockets. Then I'm gonna go kind of other basic necessities that I've always got in my pack, and this goes in the top lid. I'm a wet wipe guy. Either baby wipes or anything like that. Having wet wipes for me is critical. I've got a sunglass bag. I always carry my sunglasses when I'm hunting, and when those long trek out on the trail, it's bright and sunny, throw those things on. So I've got that. This is old school DeLorme inReach, but syncs to my phone. That way I can stay in communication with wife and kids while I'm gone. Super handy satellite communicator, Bluetooth to my phone. And then I've got kind of like my possibles bag. So in this bag right here, toothbrush, another spare lighter. I carry ibuprofen and Advil PMs. It's definitely one to kind of help go to sleep at night. Some spare set of contacts and contact drops. Trevor would be proud. My flossums. May not brush my teeth every day, but I definitely floss while I'm hunting. And just some face tissue. I usually carry one of those in a pocket in my pants, and then also a spare one here in this bag. So we'll load this up, goes into the lid, and that's pretty much kind of the top lid scenario. Gonna zip that up. And the very top lid, this is one that I've always carry. My buddy James Nass from Six Ranch, if you guys haven't seen, he's got a podcast, very knowledgeable guy, ex-Marine, veteran, and He made this for me in Colorado last year. Just some matches in a waterproof deal, and then Vaseline and cotton balls. That kind of fail-safe fire starter. So that's always in my pack there in the top lid. I always know where that one's at. And that's kind of just, that's always in my pack, whether I'm day hunting, overnight, anything like that, ready to go. My bladder. So I run a 3-liter platypus bladder. Very simple setup. I've got a quick disconnect right here on the bite valve, and that will go straight into my Sawyer water filter. So I never have to take my bladder out of my pack when I'm hunting. So that goes in here. It's got its own bladder sleeve and the top load of this pack here. Bladder in that pouch. The other thing that I put in there, and I know this is a question we've been getting emailed constantly every day, meat bags. When are your meat bags available? They will be available in about a week or two. They'll be available in 2 weeks for sale. Bear with us. COVID has really been not friendly to the manufacturing process, and as we've been learning. But meat bags, what I do, and I actually don't, for this, just have them out, but what I'll fold them up, and then I vacuum pack each individual bag. One thing, it makes them waterproof. They won't, you won't get any moisture in there, get mold going on them, and it compacts them down. So I put meat bags, I carry 3/4 bags, and then a boned out bag, sometimes 4/4 bags, depending what we got going on. And that goes down in this top. They're kind of always nice out of the way. And if you haven't seen with this Exo pack, this bladder bag has a nylon seal waterproof. So if you have a leak or anything going on there, it's gonna keep away from your gear. So these go in, they're kind of forgotten about till you kill a bull and it's time to pull them out. So when that's all done and sealed up, that's ready to go. From there, where I start packing my pack is gonna be my camp. And depending on the weather conditions, it's a call whether I'm gonna use the full dry bag inside the pack or use without. You know, early part of the season, for the most part, I don't take this just because I really don't need that extra waterproof. But my sleep system's a little bit different than most. Very standard on the blow up pillow. This is a First Light Nemo pillow. Very nice, couple breaths. And you got a sleeping pad. So that's for my pillow. And then on my sleeping pad, this is one where I sacrifice some weight. It's one of the heavier ones on the market, but it's been the most comfortable ones over the years. This is Sea to Summit Comfort Plus, I believe. So it's actually got dual chambers. It has a chamber on the bottom and a chamber on top. In 20 breaths, it's fully inflated, and it's a very well insulated pad, which is critical for how I sleep, because I sleep with a quilt. So this right here is my setup. It is in I've got a little bivy sack just to kind of keep condensation down or off my bag. This is made by Jimmy Tarps. It weighs virtually just a couple ounces. So just for me, the thing I've really enjoyed about the quilt, you can see it's got a sleeping bag type from about your knees down. So it's fully enclosed. And then these straps actually go around the back side of your sleeping pad. And you basically have a comforter, built-in comforter. You can pull that tight and there's no drafts. You can also still snap this thing up. If you want to snap it over your head and be all the way in the cocoon, you can do that. I really like this just for the fact of weight. It's incredibly warm to weight ratio. I think this bag is under 20 ounces the way it's set up. So this is an Enlightened Equipment, I think Enigma is what they call it. And it's really comfortable for my build, being 6'4". So how I pack my pack, this usually is all in one piece inside the bivy sack. While it's in this bivy sack, I can just pull out, blow up the mattress, and I'm already in that cocoon. And one thing I've learned, and this is my good buddy Steve Speck taught me over the years, is to pack the pack instead of putting in all individual stuff sacks. I'm just gonna push this down and load it to kind of fill the volume. And I'm gonna do that at the bottom of the pack to keep any of the heavier weight up high, kind of the bulky, less weight items down low. So you get that pack weight kind of up in the middle to the upper top of your back. Just fits better when you're going down the trail. To do that, I'll just zip this thing closed. It's got, like I said, an access zipper, or you can do a top load for it. So I'll take the top load, and it's just like a kid packing a suitcase back in the day. You just cram and stuff it. So you can see all that bulk is right there in that bottom third of the pack. And we have all this open area for all our extra gear. Next up is going to be my shelter. And this is where the full zip on the sides where I put my shelter. It's pretty easy. This is called the Nemo Recurve. They call it a two-person, and I've slept 2 people in it. It was not awesome. Trevor and I last year in Colorado slept the night in this, but it is doable if you need to. And this is kind of a cool tent because it's a single layer, so you cut down weight in the mesh, and you use trekking poles for it, so 2 trekking poles, and it's got dual doors. So there's a lot of storage, gear storage. If we get socked in on a rainstorm, it's pretty comfy to wait it out. So this one I'll just take and slide in the side of this thing and have that easy to access and ready to go. So on the outside of the pack, this is where I've got a Sawyer squeeze filter right here, and then I carry 2 2-liter platypus bags. So I have a capacity of 7 liters if I need to, with my 3-liter bladder and then these bags. It's super handy to just have that capacity if you need to, or have a spare bag if you blow out a bag. Definitely done that. That's gonna go right here on the back side of my pack. Easy to access. So where if I need to collect water, I can just literally drop my pack, unzip, pull out this. And this is where the nice part with that Sawyer squeeze filter, keep the bladder in, I get a dirty bag, hook this up, filter water right into my pack, and I'm off and running. So it's a really simple system, and no moving parts, and it's been really effective over the last 5 or 6 years that we've used it. From here is where I'm gonna put food. So I've got it broke down. These are my daily food bags. I used to keep tracks at exact spreadsheet with what I carried and how many calories to ounce. Anymore, I just go to when I go to the grocery store, I only kind of try to purchase things that are 100 calories to an ounce or above, more in that 150 range. And my food weight is about 1.5 pounds a day with the Mountain House. And that the biggest thing I've learned over the years is variety is a good thing. Not eating the same thing for a 10-day trip every day, or like the month that we're on the road. Kind of walk you through one of these bags real quick. I'm a coffee guy. Start my day, Starbucks Instant Via. Usually with like a Nature Biscuit bar, or just a little granola bar or a fig bar, something like that in the morning with coffee. Gets me going. Then I'm a wasabi almond guy, so I throw in some wasabi almonds. Dried mangoes, kind of gets that sugar kind of quick energy type stuff. This one's probably not the best to carry, but it's one of those comfort food items. I usually carry some ramen, mix that up maybe every other day, have a ramen for lunch. I'll also get some other like dried beans or some other things to kind of add to it, just for the texture and flavor. So I'll do a top ramen, and then I've got Snickers bar, because no one likes it when you're hangry, and what's reminiscent of some chocolate covered macadamia. So these were coconut. They're kind of melted all in one piece sitting out in the sun here. And that's kind of my day food. usually end up eating everything, and sometimes I'll stretch one day into another, and kind of depending on the food side of it, I'll do a biscuits and gravy, or actually I'll do half of one of these, save the bag, and pour it back in for the next morning to have a breakfast if I want a hot breakfast. Or in Mountain House, for dinner, boil water, do a freeze-dried meal, and then I'll also carry these Idahoan potatoes, and I kind of use these if I have too much water and that Mountain House is a little runny. Add some potatoes, just some more calories, a little bit thicker consistency for a dinner. So carry one of these, and I can probably get 3 or 4 nights out of 1 pack of these, and they're super cheap. They're like 99 cents. It's a good deal. And then for a nightcap, a little red wine. So usually carry this either in another bladder, such as this, or just one of these Boda bag. I like red wine. I like having it at night, sitting around, reminiscing on the day, planning out, looking at Onyx for what we're gonna do in the morning. It's always a good thing, kind of keeps that morale high. So that's my food. So what I'm gonna do, so in this case, we're going in for 4 days. Oh, I'll show you another thing. This is another one of those homemade jobbers. I used to do a bagel sandwich. I ate too many bagels on one trip and I can hardly do it anymore. This right here is a tortilla with Nutella, bacon, and some honey on it. And I freeze dry those, or not freeze, I vacuum pack those, seal them up, and just throw this in, and that can be a breakfast or a lunch instead of a top ramen. So that's 4 days worth of food. I'll grab some dinners. And this is where I will sometimes take a bigger stuff sack just to keep it easy, keep these all together. I'm gonna have 3 stowed in my pack. This is at night, so it's easy. I can just pull this out, set it to the side. Easy load up in the morning. Shove that way down there. Take garlic. And I've got an extra breakfast. And then I'll take 3 dinners. So yellow curry and the fan favorite beef stroke. I like these Pro Packs too. They're nice because they're a little bit more compact. So I'm gonna throw these all in, just slide them down in the pack. So I'm still, you can see on the bulk side of life, still have a majority of my pack empty, and that's pretty much the bulk of what I'm gonna be carrying is gonna be food and sleeping system. And this one I'll just slide in right here with my tent. And then on the other day food bag is when I'm gonna have on an outside pocket, something I can easy to access while we're hunting throughout the day. When we stop, I can just roll in, grab my food, take a snack or anything like that. Jetboil. Ran a Jetboil, it's been long serving, never had any issues with it. The only thing you can't do is boil snow in it, makes it kind of challenging. But one of these fuel cells, I can get 3 boils a day for about 6 to 8 days, depending on elevation. I've stretched it out as long as 9 days on one of these, making coffee and making dinner at night. So the one thing that's nice with like those Pro Packs, you're only 12 ounces of water. You don't have as long a burn time, kind of same with a cup of coffee in the morning, but just have this easy to access right here in the top as well. The cool thing, like right here, if we stop, I can just unzip, grab my Jetboil out, zip that back up, and we're ready to rock and roll down the trail. Really, that's the bulk of the weight of my pack right there. Not too crazy. Next thing I'm gonna kind of dive into is kind of clothing, what I'm gonna be wearing and what I'm gonna be throwing in my pack. So I'm gonna wear a pair of good merino socks. Been a fan of Darn Tough for quite a while. They've been really good. So I'm gonna put those, I'm gonna have a spare set of socks. This is where Trent and I differ because he takes like a pair of socks for every day or half day. A lot of times he'll have 5 pairs of socks. I just alternate. Sometimes I'll wear liners depending on the boot. I'll wear a liner, pull the liner off, then pretty much have a fresh sock the next day. And then on person, I wear a Wick 150 hoodie, merino, lightweight, super breathable. It also does good insulation when it's wet. Has a hood for sun protection or those chilly mornings. So I'll wear that on me, and then a pair of the Guide Light pants. And Guide Light pants are nice. They're breathable, they're nice and durable, and it's been a good pant. The one thing I'm super excited this year, carrying on, which I tested a prototype last year, are the new zip-off long dongs here from First Light. And they're pretty cool because you can pull them up and Velcro them so they're staying to your waist, and then you just reach down, unzip. The zipper's in a locking feature, so it locks down or up, so you don't have any interference there. And the nice thing is the zipper's not up here on your hip belt, so when you're packing your pack, you don't have that extra little bulk item right there, but you just can literally keep your boots on, zip them off. That's actually been a deterrent in the past why I don't carry long johns, because I hate stopping, taking my boots off, going through the whole rigmarole to put those in. These are gonna go in my pack. I'm gonna sleep, usually I sleep with all my clothes on, depending if it's cold or if they're wet at all. But I'll sleep in the long johns, pants, Wick 150, and a puffy, depending on the temperature that's going on outside. So I'll put this down in here in my sleep system. These are gonna be items that I'm wearing, so I'll set these off to the side. And then for what I carry with me in an insulating layer, and most of the time in September, I've honestly just been going with this Brooks down sweater that they call. It's a jacket with a hood, super light puffy, and you can slide this in just about anywhere, slide it all the way down so you don't have any bulk. And then if the forecast is gonna be in some colder temps, we're gonna be, freezing at night and, in the upper 20s in the morning, I'm gonna wear this Klamath hoodie. So this is their grid fleece, mid-weight, easy on, easy off. And I'll throw this in there as well for bulk. So that pretty much loads out the pack. Couple other items that I'll throw in, depending on temperature. Little merino glove, the neck gaiter, and for sleeping at night or those cold mornings or snow in the forecast, something like that, a beanie. So throw those things in here. And I like it just, all that stuff's gonna stay in the bottom of my pack unless I need it. I know where it's at, I can access it when I need to. And then the other item that I always take with me, just a little foldable butt pad. This when we're either sitting glassing or taking a break and the ground's all wet or there's only a wet log to sit on. It's nice to keep your butt dry. At night we're cooking Mountain House. Just have this, and I'll usually fold this up and put it right here in the top of my pack. So from here, what I'm gonna do is just gonna roll that thing down, snap that up, lid comes over the top, and we're pretty much ready to go. Couple other items. This thing, Benchmade Altitude, just hanging from my neck. It's always right there, know where it's at. Always got that with me on it. This is a game changer. If you've had foot issues in the past or had blister issues, Leuko tape. Get it on Amazon, get it in a 2-pack. The one thing you wanna do is replace this roll every single year. Otherwise it'll get moisture and kind of loses effectiveness. But this stuff, when you put it on, it'll stay on a whole week without coming off. When you do take it off, you're gonna wanna soak your feet or else you'll peel some skin. So that Leuko tape's gonna go in my top lid, and then my actual headlamp that I run. I make sure that all my headlamps have the same battery. This one's a pretty cool, this is a Petzl Core, this is a Petzl Attic, and you can see right here, has a USB charger, but it also takes AA's. So if I run out of juice in my battery pack that I carry for charging phone, for running Onyx or the DeLorme, I can also charge my headlamp. It's been a really durable light, never had any issues. That's gonna go right in my hip pouch, right here. Know where it's at, and then this Leuko tape's gonna go in the top lid. Last thing that I'm gonna put on my pack right here, is going to be a set of trekking poles. These are a couple things that are a game changer in a sense. Creek crossings, packing meat, hiking a lot of miles on the trail. Very comfortable, kind of takes that relief off your body. Put it into work on your hands or in your arms. Usually put some Gorilla Tape or duct tape on this thing, just if I need some tape, it's always just right there. You don't have to dig in your pack, it's on. So I'll put these on the outside of my pack, strap up right here. And this is, you run the cross strap loose. Same with here. I'm gonna loosen this, run my cross strap. Everything you can see on this pack's designed to pull up and lift. So when you run this compression strap, you can see all that pack comes up, all that bolt gets tight. Run that in here. Flip over to the other side. And then I'll usually take and run my lid over the top of these just to keep pressure down on them. And there's my pack ready to go. Basically, and I wish I had a scale here right now, my empty pack with 4 days worth of food, my full pack, 4 days worth of food is under 30 pounds with all my sleeping gear on it, my camping gear, everything that I need to survive right there. So it's pretty comfortable. Like, loading this pack up is not a daunting task every morning, and you know, as the days go on, your pack gets lighter, you don't have the food weight. So that's pretty much how my pack's gonna sit. Like I said, carry my cell phone for Onyx, put it in airplane mode, and then I run a battery pack charger right here in the hip belt. You can get them on Amazon. Anchor makes a good one, Rav Power, anything like 10,000 milliamps, what you want for, you know, extended trips. So my phone's gonna go right in there, and I'm constantly, it's easy access, checking maps, seeing where we're at, what's going on. Also on body, so where I'm gonna put, so bino harness right here on the chest, have easy access. Got my rangefinder right here. It's on a drop cord if I need to drop it. It's just gonna hang. One that I've always got, one right here on me, wind checker, and then I've usually got a spare one there in the pack. This Calcol external estrus is pretty awesome. Working on some prototypes there for you guys. And then lens cloth, and then in here, more diaphragm calls just for spares. So that's kind of always right there on me. It's easy to access. And then for binos, I run the Zulu 7s, and these are the 10x42s. They're nice and easy conceal. Everything is in place. So that's kind of on my body with the clothes that I'm wearing. Boot wise, I've got 2 different pairs of boots, and the reason for it is just doing a month-long straight elk season, getting a pair, you know, you walk through wet grass, you get back at the truck, you got a fresh pair of boots. And it also is nice to alternate throughout the season because you kind of feel fresh when you put a different pair of boots on. So these are the Hogg Alverstones. These are definitely my favorite pair of boots. And then I've got the Makra Combis, Hoggs. These are a little bit stiffer, more of an alpine, better in rocky terrain. They're not as soft in the flex in these, but a great boot. So the Makra Combis are also gonna be in the totes, ready to rock and roll. One thing I've learned over the years, having, at least in the group, spares of things. Sleeping pad, good one to have spare. Have it at the truck, it's in my tote. I also have a spare sleeping bag, and the purpose there, a lot of times when we're doing meat hauls, we'll leave a lot of our camping gear in the woods. We'll come out to the truck, run to town, take care of meat, sleep the night at the truck. I've got a full sleep system right here in my tote, ready to go. So just always have that kind of ready to rock and roll. We pull over at night, I don't want to dig through my pack. I can pull out my sleeping bag and a pad and have a good night's sleep. Just as far as how my totes are set up, this is more of like my gear tote. So in here, I've got a pair of puffy pants. Depending, you know, if we get some super cold temperatures, I will take these backpacking if I need to, if we're down in the zeros or, you know, in the teens and we got snow in the forecast, something like that, I'll take a pair of puffy pants. They're nice and light, not too bulky in the pack. And then in September, this is one that I've carried a lot of times in my pack on a multi-day and never touched it. But if there is rain in the forecast, I run the Storm Type Vapor jacket. So it's just really easy, lightweight rain gear. I don't wear bottoms, I just take this in. So if you got those, a lot of times like Colorado or some of that big mountain, you'll get a thunderstorm that rolls in for an hour or two. You can throw this on, sit in shelter, under cover, and be ready to rock and roll. Kind of what we'll do, we'll jump in on this a little bit later, multiple shelters. I ran a full freestanding tent, I ran a tarp, and I've run this single layer sub tent, or subfloor tent. And I'll kind of walk you through some of that, but I've got those, like I said, gear backups, and everything's kind of in the tote. So when we load up to go, it's all right here. It's really easy to navigate through. And then my food tote is over here on this side. And this makes it really easy during season when we get out to the truck. Hey, we're gonna go back in for 3 nights, 4 days. I can grab 3 Mountain House, grab day food bag, load my pack up, and ready to rock and roll. Also here at the truck, I've got a lantern, kind of nice for lights. I'm really excited. I actually got a whole new system that I'm gonna have for season where I'm gonna be living in the canopy. It's got a pop top from AT Overland, and I'm really excited to check that out. And I'm actually gonna get rid of these totes and build a drawer system. So all my gear is right here in my truck, and there's no more of these totes and pulling them in and out, moving around. It's just all gonna be right here in the truck. I can load up, go, and take off. So pretty much covers most of the gear, kind of what I do, how I do it. Let's jump over and talk shelters. All right, so this is kind of a quick evolution of the tents that I've used in the past and kind of where I'm at now in life and what I really have liked. First off, this is back in like 2007 or 8, bought a Marmot EOS 1. It's a great tent. It's been bomb-proof. I've had wind, rain, snow, all sorts of stuff. Freestanding tent, so literally 2 stakes and you're good to go. If you're in super heavy wind, you can also get the corners. I like it. It's a side entry. So in the morning when I wake up, I can sit up in here, cook all my stuff. It's pretty dang comfy, even for a guy of my size. So in the morning, a lot of times I'm sitting here just like this, got the jet boil going, getting my stuff ready. And I'm, like I said, 6'4", I can sleep in here just fine. It's got enough height in here that I can sit up freestanding. Really good tent, pretty good price, and weight-wise isn't too bad. So it's a Marmot EOS 1. It's a good shelter to look at. Then I got into the ultralight setup, and I thought, well, I want to go to a tarp. So this is set up. It's a Jimmy tarp, and there's no floor in it. Floorless shelter. It has some serious advantages and also some disadvantages. The one thing I found, if you've got rain and it's got runoff, you definitely want to be on a high point and not on a low saddle. I've had water come in at night. You got to be in a bivy sack to keep your stuff dry. But as you can see, there's lots of room in this thing, way more than the other one. You could sleep 2 guys in here, all the camera gear, everything like that. It's pretty easy to stow and put away. So, and if you just need a place to get out of the sun, it's got pretty good ventilation, and I'm down here out of the sun, out of the weather. If it's stormy, go ahead and zip this thing up, and I'm all enclosed out of that wind and rain. Like I said, this is a trekking pole tent. It pitches, the one thing I don't like about it, it does take up quite a bit of square footage. So if you're in brushy country, sometimes it's kind of hard to find a spot to pitch this thing. What I ran last year, and I've got it set up different than how I ran it. I actually run with 2 trekking poles there in the points, but my trekking poles are in here. So this is how the recurve from Nemo and First Light is. It's a dual door, so I can access it. If I got brush on the other side or something like that, I can't get on that side. I can still access the tent. And this is what they call a tub floor. So it's a single wall. There's no mosquito netting inside of this. It's just a single wall. And they call it a 2-person. I have to sleep diagonal in it. So it's definitely a one-man tent for the most part for me, but it's got a tub floor, so I don't have to carry a bivy sack if I didn't want to. And it's still waterproof. Went through some snow, rain, wind, all sorts of conditions last year in it. I do like this because it's a pretty easy setup. You got 4 stakes, put your trekking poles up, and then your side stakes, and you're done. So you can pitch it in pretty much anywhere. And it weighs, I can't remember exact weight, but it's under 2 pounds. I think it's like a pound and 7 or 8 ounces with the trekking pole setup. So really lightweight, and it holds up really well. A lot of comfort. Same scenario. Morning time, I can fully sit up. I can cook my stuff right here and be out of it. Like I said, the nice advantage having 2 doors. Store my pack over on that side, have all my cooking stuff, my boots over here. So when I get up in the morning, I can do all that. Go over, get my pack, tear down camp, and be rocking and rolling in no time. So that's kind of the shelters that we use for backcountry hunting. Trevor is going to kind of talk more like truck camping and all the things when you're going out of state, what you need to take in your truck and living out of your truck, totes, bedroll, stuff like that. So thanks guys for watching. Appreciate it. Hopefully if we brought any value, leave a comment below. What was some of those favorite things that I shared with you, what I've learned over the years, and we'll see you on the next one.
No worries over nickels and dimes or a 9-to-5 grind. I gotta get loose sometimes. In trouble